Hello all. In this video, we will learn about the different practices which farmers follow in crop production. The universe is working on the basis of some energy. The living organisms like plants, animals and humans get energy from the food they eat. We all know that plants synthesize their own food through the process called photosynthesis. Animals and humans have to depend on plants for their food. We should be thankful to the farmers who are providing us unlimited quantity of food by cultivating different kinds of cereals, pulses, rice and wheat. Until 10,000 BC, people were nomades. They were wandering from one place to another in search of food. They ate raw vegetables and fruits. After some time, they got settled in one area and began to cultivate some vegetables, rice and wheat according to their need. That was the beginning of agriculture. Let's move on to crops. The same kind of plant which are cultivated in a large area at one place is called crops. Let me show you a paddy field. Here you can see only paddy in this large area. That's why it's called a crop. Now this one is wheat field. In a large area only wheat is cultivated. In India, a variety of climatic conditions we can see. The temperature, humidity and rainfall varies from one region to another. Even though two crop patterns are followed in India. One is Kharif crop, which are sown in rainy season. In India, we get rain from the months of June to September. Examples of Kharif crop are paddy and soybean. Paddy or rice crops need a lot of water for their survival. Thus, they are Kharif crops. Now, rabi crops. Rabi crops are grown in winter season. The winter season is from October to March. Examples of rabi crops are wheat and pea. Moving on to agricultural practices. Agricultural practices are the activities which farmers follow in crop production. They are preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting and storage. Let's see the preparation of soil. Preparation of soil is the first step in crop production so that the soil can support the plant growth. It is done by ploughing, leveling and manuring. First one is ploughing. Ploughing is the loosening and turning of the soil. It is also called as tilling. Let me show you a plowed field. Here you can see the soil. It is turned. The soil is loosened. Let's see what are the advantages of ploughing. The upper layers of soil support the plant growth. We should loosen it so that the plant roots can grow deeply. Plant root can breathe easily. Loosening of soil will increase the aeration in soil and root can breathe easily. Ploughing will help to bring the manure to upper layers so that the plant can absorb. In the chapter Microorganisms Friend and Foe, we learned that microorganism decomposes the plant and animal waste into manure. This manure is in the deeper layers of soil. Ploughing will help to bring this manure into the upper layers so that the plant root can absorb it. It helps to remove weeds. Farmer's friend. Earthworms are farmer's friend. They are also known as natural plough. These earthworms helps to loosen the soil and it will increase the aeration and water holding capacity of the soil. Here you can see when this earthworm moves, it will loosen the soil and here gaps will be there. Due to this gap, the aeration will increase and also the water will reach to the roots of these plants easily. Now the excreta of these earthworms will increase the soil fertility. These earthworms decomposes plant leaves and other organic matter and convert it into vermicompost. This vermicompost will increase the amount of humus in soil. Humus is nothing but the organic substance we get after the decomposition of plant remains. And this humus will absorbed by plants and it will increase the growth of plants. Now leveling. Now we know that the loosened soil is there by ploughing. And after that, the loosened soil can be blown away by the wind or washed away by the water. To prevent this, we have to press or level the soil with the help of a wooden or iron leveler. And ploughed soil has clumps of soil that are called crumbs. These crumbs break by the leveling. Then manuring. Farmers add manure at the time of ploughing so that the manure can mix with the soil evenly. Agricultural implements. Agricultural implements are nothing but the tools used for the practices we just discussed. They are plough, hoe and cultivator. Let's see what is a plough. Plough is used from ancient times to loosen the soil. It is made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls in the field. Let me show you a plough. This plough has a triangular iron strip called a plowshare. This is plowshare. And the main part of a plough is a long log of wood that is known as plough shaft. This is plough shaft. And this plough shaft is connected to a beam. This is beam. And this beam is placed on the neck of the bull. Here we can see a farmer is ploughing with the help of a plough. And this area, this is plough shaft. This is beam which is placed on the neck of the bulls and the plowshare is under the soil. Hoe. Hoe is used to remove weeds and loosen soil. This hoe contains a long log of wood and a broad iron plate at the bottom. Here we can see a farmer who is loosening the soil with the help of hoe. Cultivator. Nowadays, manual ploughing is rare. It is time consuming and want a lot of hard work. So, this task is made easy by using a tractor driven cultivator. It saves time and labor. Let me show you a tractor driven cultivator. This cultivator is ploughing the field. Here you can see this is unploughed area and this is a ploughed soil. Here you can see it is turned over. So the manure is mixed well with the soil now and it will increase the plant growth. Sowing. Sowing is the scattering of seeds to the ground. Before sowing, healthy and good quality seeds should be selected. There are some important things to be taken care of during the selection of seeds. Healthy and good quality seeds should be selected so that we get high yield. Seeds should be free from any infection or damage. Let's see how we can check this. Take a beaker half filled with water and put the seeds to be sown inside it. The healthy seeds will get settled in the bottom and the damaged seeds will float. The damaged ones will be hollow inside. That's why they float. Seeds should have high germinating capacity. Germination means the growth of a plant from the seed. There are different methods available to check the germinating capacity. High yielding variety seeds are used by the farmers to get high yields. Tools used in sowing. Let's see one traditional tool used in sowing. This is a traditional tool which was used by the farmers earlier. It has a funnel-shaped part in which the seeds are placed. The seeds are passed down through one or two narrow pipes. These narrow pipes have sharp edges. This sharp edge pierces the soil and places the seed into it. This is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. Manual sowing. Manual sowing is done by the farmers by hand. But this is not a good method as the sowed seeds are not scattered evenly and they are scattered on the surface layers of the soil that can be picked by birds. Moving on to seed drill. Seed drill is a device which helps to sow the seeds in the soil by positioning them in the soil and burying them into deep layers. This has a funnel part and long iron tubes. The seeds are placed in this funnel part. And in this method, the seeds are placed deep. So the damage by birds won't happen. And it saves time and labor. Paddy is first grown in nursery into tiny plants. These tiny plants are called seedling. Then the seedling is transferred into the fields. Let me show you how the seedlings are transferred. Here, this one is the paddy seedling. You can see the farmer is placing this seedling into the field. Adding manure and fertilizers. The nutrients that are added to the soil for a healthy growth of plant is called as manure and fertilizers. Soil contains all the nutrients for a healthy growth of plant, but farmers grow crop one after another that will lead to depletion of soil. Thus, we have to add extra nutrients to help the plant's growth. Now the process of adding manure is called manuring. Manure is nothing but the organic substance we get from the decomposition of plant and animal waste. Farmers prepare this manure in the field itself. They dump all the plant and animal waste into open area in the field and allow it to decompose by microorganisms. After that they get the manure and they use it in the field. Chemical fertilizers are also there for the instant growth of plant. Fertilizers contain the plant nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Difference between manure and fertilizer. Manure, as we all know, it is natural. Fertilizer is artificial, man-made. Manure is prepared in the field by the farmers. Fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure provides humus to the soil as it is organic substance, but fertilizer don't provide humus. Manure is less in plant nutrients, but fertilizer is rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Let's see what are the advantages of manure. It enhances water holding capacity of soil as humus has the capacity to hold water. It makes soil porous. As the soil microorganisms take the nutrients from the manure, their waste will cause some gaps in the soil particles. This will increase the aeration in the soil. It increases the number of friendly microorganisms. Texture of soil improves. The earthworms will mix the manure with the soil, thus the texture of soil improves. Crop rotation. This is another method to replenish soil with nutrients. Leguminous plants and other crops are grown alternatively. In one season, farmers grow leguminous plants. In the next season, they grow wheat or any other kind of crop. These leguminous plant roots contain nodules in them. These are the nodules, and these nodules contain rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria. This rhizobium bacteria will convert the atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. This ammonia is a nitrogen compound which can be readily absorbed by the plants. Thus, the nitrogen compounds will increase the soil fertility. Moving on to irrigation. We all know that water is an important component in the growth of plants. Without water, the proper growth of plant won't happen. And germination of seed won't happen in the absence of water. The supply of water to the crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. Different crops need different amount of water at different intervals. There are certain methods of irrigation. Let's see what are they. Traditional methods of irrigation: Moat, chain pump, Dekli and Rahat. Let's see what is Moat. Moat is a simple system of irrigation in which the water is taken out from a well. The water is taken out in a bucket with the help of a pulley. And the bucket full of water is poured into the field. This is done by manually or with the help of any animal. Next, chain pump. This chain pump actually contains two wheels which are tied with a chain, and this chain contains buckets, and this is a well, and this bucket fills up the water and it will pour the water here. Here the field is there. This bucket will pour water here and this water will go to the field. And there is a handle is there to rotate the wheel. Moving on to Dekli. Dekli system of irrigation is done in rural areas. Here, farmers place a log near the well, and this log is placed in a fork-like structure. To one end of the log, a stone is tied, and to the another end, a bucket is tied, and this empty bucket is dipped into the water by the farmer, and when bucket fills the water, the farmer leave the bucket. The bucket will come up as the log lifts up due to the weight of this stone, and this bucket full of water is poured into the field. Now Rahat. In this system of irrigation, there is a well, water is here, and a wheel is placed over this well. This is a wheel, and around this wheel a chain is there. This chain will contain buckets. And this wheel has a handle which is placed on the neck of the bull, and when the bull circles around this well, this wheel will rotate. And when the wheel rotates, the bucket fills up the water and it will pour the water into the field. This helps to draw water continuously from the well with the help of animals. Let's look into the modern methods of irrigation. Sprinkler system and drip system are the modern methods of irrigation. In sprinkler system, a main pump is laid on the field, and this main pump contains revolving nozzles at regular intervals. These are the revolving nozzles. And this main pump is connected to a well. When water escapes through this revolving nozzle, it will spread into the field like rain. This system of irrigation can be used for a larger area or for a smaller area. Moving on to drip system. In drip system, a network of tubes and pipes are used. Here networks of pipes are there which are connected to a main pipe, and this main pipe will be connected to a well. And these small pipes contain small holes in it. When water flows through it, the water will fall drop by drop into the root of the plant through that openings. This will save water. This system of irrigation can be used in the areas where water scarcity is high. Now, protection from weeds. Weeds are the unwanted plants that grow along with crop. These weeds may be poisonous. Weeds compete with the crops for nutrients and water, which will lead to improper growth of that crop. So we have to remove that weed. The removal of weed is called weeding. And there are methods of weeding like manual weeding and spraying weedicide. Manual weeding. In manual weeding, the farmer manually pull the weeds by hand and throw them away. Sometimes they use a kurpi for the weeding. Now spraying weedicide. These weedicides are sprayed in the field to kill the weeds. This weedicide is diluted with water before spraying at a specific ratio. And mouth and nose should be covered before spraying this weedicide. Spraying pesticides. Like weedicides, pesticides and insecticides are also sprayed in the field to prevent the attack of pests like rodents and insects. This is how the spraying of pesticide is done. Here we can see he is wearing a mask and gloves. That is the precautionary measure before spraying pesticide, weedicides or insecticides. Now harvesting. Till now we studied how soil is prepared to support the plant growth and how manure and fertilizers are added, how the sowing is done and how irrigation is done. Now moving on to harvesting. Harvesting is the cutting and gathering of mature crops. Harvesting is done either manually by a sickle or by a machine called harvester. Moving on to threshing. Threshing is the loosening of grain from the shaft to which it is attached. And harvesting and threshing can be done simultaneously by a machine called combine. Here we can see harvesting, that is cutting of the mature crops is done, and here the grains are separated from the chaff and this grain is collected in this container. Moving on to winnowing. Winnowing is done by farmers with small holdings of land. They do this method to separate the grain from the chaff. A mixture of grain, chaff and hay is dropped from a height in the blowing wind. The grains which are heavier will fall down straight into the ground, and the hay and chaff which are lighter is carried away by the wind. Now there are a lot of harvest festivals celebrated in India like Makara Sankranti, Baisakhi, Lori, Onam and Pongal. Storage. The harvested grains are to be stored for a long time. They should be safe from any microorganisms, pests or insects and moisture. If we store the harvested grain before drying, it will get spoiled and attacked by microorganisms. To prevent this, before storage, we have to dry the grain in sun to reduce the moisture content. This will prevent the attack of bacteria and fungi. Farmers store this grain in jute bags. Large quantities of grain are stored in silos like this. Food from animals. Besides plants, animals also give us food. Milk yielding animals, they are also called dairy animals, They are cow, buffalo and sheep. Egg and meat yielding animals are poultry, goat, sheep and fish. Honey yielding honeybees are also there. If we rear the animal in a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. In this video, we learned about the practices that farmers follow in crop production. There were 7 practices. Thank you all.